Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's a very special episode. We have Alex Kangun on the line. He's CEO over at Athena Solutions Inc., and we're going to be talking about the truth about data readiness in the AI era. Alex, this is a great topic, man. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
All right, Alex. So we got a lot to talk about today. I want to get into what you're doing at Athena Solutions. And, we like talking about the AI era around here. So big deal. But before we do all of that, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Alex, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, for executives, for experts. That's what we do. Alex, what mission matters to you?
Very good. So in Athena, we help clients to take advantage of their strategic data assets and convert it into assets. Make sure that revenue grows, make sure that process improve, make sure that they stay very competitive in the market. Over the years, company accommodated a lot of, we'll call it data manager debt. And we help align people, processes, and technology so they will be strategically aligned and help company to move to the next level.
Yeah. That's awesome. Love bringing mission-based individuals on the line to share, how they do what they do, what they're doing, and really what we can all learn from that so we grow together. So great stuff there. Alex, I want to get into this. We're going to go further, especially that concept of bringing it from a data management debt to an asset, as you say, and to really unlock the monetization side of things there when it comes to data. But before we do, I'm curious about you. Like how'd you get into this business, of data and of tech? Where'd that start for you?
I think I can say I'm a data management dynasty. Next, my mother was in computer science back in Kiev, Ukraine.
Wow. So hold on. So your legacy, actually, that's wonderful. Go ahead.
So make it interesting. I grew up with their understandings that, because it was my mother, that a computer job, it's not for men. It's a woman job. And 30 years back, here I am, and I'm working to make sure my grandson will not get into computers.
Wow, what a great story. So you are a dynasty. Your legacy into computer science and consider it not.
Yes, I remember this all big. I'm afraid to date myself if I'll tell what I remember. So,
no, tell me. Hold on. What do you remember? Tell me. This is interesting.
More things I can remember. There was big media. It looked like cake from Cheesecake Factory. If you know.
Yeah.
And this is a disk that contains some information called 1 megabyte. And this is how the information was stored and transferred. You have to put it, flip it.
That's amazing.
Before fax was invented. So let's put this.
I love this story. Your mom, so she was pretty ahead of the curve, huh? She's early in this business of computers and everything else. She's at the beginning, really, because it hasn't been around that long, right?
Right.
Wow, what an interesting story. So now your legacy, you were born into the computer business, we'll say, in data. So when did you know that this was going to be a career? Was it when you were going through school, when you were really young, did you know, or did you tinker around or play with ideas, or when did you know this was going to be a career for you?
So some kids were going into summer camp. I was going in the C programming camps.
Wow. What age was this? What age, roughly, what age was this when you remember?
15. I remember 15 years old.
Wow. That's interesting. So you have kind of a different perspective overall. And the reason why I ask you these questions too, first off, it's interesting to me, Alex. I'm that's pretty cool. My mom, I loved what she did, and she was a social worker, but I'm it's kind of cool. Your mom was in computers way back when too. So I like your story too. But looking at that one, and we'll get to this in a moment, but thinking about the evolution of what's taken place since you began as really a child to now, it's mind-blowing, right? How far we've come in such a little amount of time.
Correct. And you also have like you invest in your social skills. So
Yeah.
this is your so I have a lot. So career, it's kind of was natural for me. I do feel when you deal with in Athena we're very technical. Everybody technical understand. I do feel sometimes that computers talk to me. So like I
Yeah.
understand the language, I understand how they think, I
Yeah.
understand how the AI work behind the scenes, so I can it helps.
Mm. Talk to me a little bit more. Let's before we go further into the actual like data readiness and how people can, how organizations can transform them into assets. Maybe just give us a little bit of an overview of Athena Solutions overall and what you do. Let's start there.
Sure. The Athena, we've been around for 20 years.
Mhm.
We started by partner Rick Sherman from Price Waterhouse
Mhm.
and specializing in their data warehousing, business intelligence, data management, and they are kind of like went through natural evolution there. And this is where we are. A lot of people still with us, like where we started. And we still have working with the clients that we start working 20 years back. So
Man, what a great story. 20 years to be able to, to benefit from each other's growth and to be able to be there for each other. I love it. It's a great story, especially with how fastly things change. So let's get into a little bit further in today's topic. So I'll put this one out there for you, Alex. So let's get into AI. So when AI performs badly, like let's maybe start there to get to some of the fundamentals. Is it a model issue or is it actually like a data quality issue? Let's maybe start there.
sure. So I want to start from the point of when you say badly. A
Mm,
lot of time people need to identify and think what they expect from AI.
hmm.
So, in the simple term, it's really identify criteria for success. What does success look like? And then it can be measured like, yes, it's bad, or no, we achieve our goal, or we 80% on target. We're falling into more details on your question.
Mm,
Um, recently, I saw observation from McKinsey that out of the project, 90% of it it's related to data. Only 10% for modeling and math.
yeah.
And I seen it and I fully support it, observe it, because dealing with the data, there's no glory. Everybody wants to do the model,
Yeah.
design a LAM, the language. It's pretty. You see it like it's working. Oh, look here. Dealing with the data, it's with like dealing with the plumbing. But
Yeah.
without it, it will not work. So to directly answer your question, a lot has to do with the data, and data it's a big word. I
Mm,
mean, with processes, with infrastructure, with the quality, with data observability. I can keep going there, but it's all has to come together. Maybe not all, maybe only critical part needs to come together to make sure that this small 10% small piece can produce something that can be used and tangible there.
hmm. It's interesting because if you think about like, and I like that you bring this up, is the data's like the plumbing. It's not gonna work if it's not the structures, the fundamental. Why do you think that is, by the way, though, that the data side of it and the management side doesn't get more attention? Why do you think that is and that the model does? I'm just curious from your perspective.
There is no one reason. If I
Yeah.
tell you one reason, everybody would fix it. Everybody, data part, it's strictly individual. I think it's
Mm,
a really not in DNA, but code behind DNA of every company.
mm,
And it has to do with the company growth. It has to be with the company mentality. It has to do with the company processes. A lot of problems were either ignored or pushed down, but rightfully so. Like
yeah.
this company have different objective, different goal, and if the specific data problem is not supporting where we want to go, it can
Mm,
be delayed.
hmm.
And suddenly it's bring to forefront all the problems and all the issues. And yes, we have to fix it. Yes, we have to address it. No, it will not work if we will muck it up.
What do you think about like going further into this? So when companies maybe aren't managing their data right, like how can they turn that into an asset? How can they unlock that data to become an asset versus where some people are looking at maybe as a liability on the other side as a cost? Like how should somebody, I guess, to start it, fundamentally, is it start with kind of like a rethinking about it, or like how can they unlock that? Is what I'm trying to say.
Sure, I want to correct. The company is not bad managing the data.
Mm-hmm.
Managing to the data is the asset, they manage the best that they can. So it's
Yeah.
not like they're bad
Yeah, they're
people.
not doing it on purpose for sure. Yeah, like nobody's gonna say I want to mess this up. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
I understand. This is just the reality what's happened. So it's a matter a lot of time of prioritization,
Mm,
what needs to happen, and focus.
hmm.
And a lot of time, in many cases, their corporation go for the short term fix, like just let's patch it. So two problems I can say, patch it and it will work, rather than addressing the problem.
Mm,
And the another problem I see that we call it data crunch. That they limping, but they can walk with it, and they so it's kind of like they can live with it.
yeah.
Just patches. So that's and it's hurting them long term because it may work for certain period of time. Like for example, if company wants to update, if you want to receive data like almost real time instantaneously, but not all the processes supporting it. It takes 3 days to process it. It takes another two to update it, and they want it. They have ambition, but they can't do it. So this is what's hurting them or what's slowing them down.
How should companies start thinking about their as they're thinking about this data management opportunity? How should people be thinking about AI as it relates to this?
They need to be opportunistic.
Hmm.
So there, it's multiple kind of like lenses you can look through this. What I mean opportunistic, that they need to identify a problem that really trackable and can be done, implemented within short period of time. I'm talking about up to 3 months, not something that year down the road, because business very dynamic, situation very dynamic. Their priority will change
Hmm.
by in 6 months, and they need to understand what they have and how they support
Mm-hmm.
all critical component. And I believe we are switching when we're working with our customers. We are
Mm-hmm.
switching their perspective. They're looking on their process like what we don't have. Oh, we don't have this, we don't have that, we need this,
Yeah.
we need, rather than we're building on the positive, because positive you have good relationship as a business, your
Mm-hmm.
operational processes very solid, build on what they have, because what they kind of like build on the positive rather than like solve all the negative. And it's
Yeah.
as I mentioned, the company DNA, the way to do company do business or conduct dealing with it, it's also in the DNA. So you can, in order to be successful, you have to build on what they're doing well,
Yeah.
what they're succeeding, because they've been successful. This is what they've done so far. They just need some help rather than like, whoa, everything is like so bad. So start with a good thing, start with a positive, so it will work.
Can you give, and you don't have to give like a specific company name or anything like that, but I'm just trying to visualize what this can look like. Can you give maybe like a use case scenario or just something about like what that can look like, the positive benefit of the other side of what happens when you get data right in this case?
Absolutely. So if we mentioned the global insurance
Hmm.
provider, we built a series of the project started with building AI roadmap, and we follow our methodology where we said like we're attacking, or we're not doing everything AI, we're not doing generic AI, we're not doing like we're helping with a specific what's a critical for you.
Yeah.
What, for example, the first one started as a customer attrition, then cross selling, and we build it like we logically build it up so that every next iteration we're on top taking advantage of what already built.
Mhm.
The first really, and also we were able to build a trust that first build will take some time, because it not just with building, but building while it's generating solid foundation.
Yeah.
Next small iteration will take time. Success, also in terms of success, over the year we implemented like several data models, several LLM
Yeah.
functions where it's people using it without knowing that they're using it.
Hmm.
So that's a definition of success. And
And that's the big win when you can integrate it. It doesn't mess with like anything else that's going on in the production otherwise, and people are using it and it just works, right? And it makes and does what it's supposed to do, right? That's the big win.
one of the biggest compliment I got and on one of the conferences with where they presented their case, we were part of their presentation.
Mm-hmm.
One of the executives said, like, first about a year ago, when somebody presented to me, I didn't really believe it. I said, yeah, I'll support it, but I didn't believe it. But now I'm presenting at this conference. I can't believe what we did. And this important part, I think, because we didn't recommend to implement everything. Let's do AI. Rather than we build small iteration, build the credibility, build the belief of the company, and then we were able to be successful every new iteration.
I want you to elaborate on something you said a moment ago. And what you said was, or what was that, you know, the first iteration to lay that groundwork or that foundation, I believe is the word you used. It may take a little bit longer, but maybe the iterations that are built on top of that or like after are because that foundation is laid, can become, you know, easier to implement or possibly even faster. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Like, what does that mean?
Sure. So what it means that although we treat it as a small iteration and small projects, we didn't lose sight of what's coming next.
Yeah.
And we're not next after next. It's kind of like people playing chess.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to anticipate like 3-4 steps forward. So Grossman, like they imagining like 6-8 steps, not like they can see it. So we were able, because of the roadmap, we understand what exactly needs to happen. Talking about the advantages of what the company done great and what's not. They have like very good technology, they have ops, development processes, and operational procedures. So it helped. We build on it. We took advantage, and then we incrementally improve for all the other integration, quality, and then the next time we have a framework already in place. We just like plug it in, and the next one there's like limited what we need to do. Let's just adjust that. So setting up the right framework, we have what we have like data quality framework.
What's the sweet spot? Like, what's the types of companies you work with, whether it's industry or size of company, head count, revenue? Like, what's the sweet spot of like who normally gets the most value out of working with you and your team?
Small to medium corporation. Small to medium corporation that they have to be in their state where they're facing this issue.
Yeah.
You know, like, or they need some improvement, or they got into a lot of in some cases we get in client that like we know we'll not fix it, we'll get acquired by big retails, and we don't want. So
I get it. Alex, man, this has been a lot of fun having you on the show today and getting to know more about Athena Solutions and your work, and also your background, man, your legacy, data management, legacy in this business. I didn't know what you were going to go with that when you told me, and I was pleasantly surprised to hear your story. That being said, what's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for the company?
So I think you heard enough about my background. What's that? But what I think about with the company and where we see AI grow, it's going into two directions. One, it will go into really some industry or even business case specific. For example, fraud detection, customer client retention, insurance fraud. We talk about it, or pricing optimization, or cross-selling optimization. So it will be specific use cases. And because they need to be tested, they need some industry specific. But then the second direction, it will go in the building this foundation, because in order to build all these business case scenarios, you will need to have the same data management practices up to a certain standard. You need to be able to rate it. Ready, I'm not saying get A across all the people process domain. Ready good enough that you can achieve your business objective. So, and this will be second direction kind of like it's cutting a common across all the AI initiatives.
Yeah. Alex, how do people follow up? How do they learn more? How do they connect with your team?
So our company grew up on the dealing, as I mentioned, very personal relationship. So feel free to reach to me on LinkedIn.
Mm.
Work with our customers. I'd like to say it heart to heart, hand to hand, but I'm even heart to heart to solve their business problems, taking all of this very personally. So feel free to reach through on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can go connect with Alex and his team. So you can just click on the link and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. Yes, you heard me right. Daily. We got plenty more interviews coming up. We don't want you to miss a thing. Hit that subscribe or follow. And Alex, man, awesome having you on the show today. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.